It started with a chat request on Instagram. I was 14 at the time, and when I clicked on this request, it led me to a group chat with around 36 other people. There was only one message, Rebecca69XOXO. Hey, anyone interested? Attached to this message was a link. This had happened a few times before, so I already knew not to click on the link. Besides the potential virus I would have gotten from doing so, I was also hesitant since one of the kids in my school, called Bryce, did a similar thing a few months ago and had uploaded a zip bomb instead. Coincidentally, the people in the group chat beside Rebecca69XOXO were from my school. And let's just say, the last time Bryce pulled a trick like this, a few people couldn't even get their phones to work for a few weeks afterward. Her profile had no posts and no followers, and the profile picture that she used was a girl with brown hair sitting on a sofa, wearing a gray tank top. Me. Nice try, Bryce. Rebecca. Aw, thank you so much, you're so sweet. How about you click my link and see how sweet I am? I_Marsh. I think she likes you, man. Ian Marsh used to bully me a lot as a kid. Being a little overweight and having to wear glasses made me an easy target. Ian liked to flex his influence every now and again. I think this was one of those times. Me. Shut up. Rebecca. Nothing much, how are you? I_Marsh. Geez, man, keep it in the DMs, haha. I left the group chat after this. There wasn't much point in arguing with what was clearly a chatbot, as well as being ridiculed by Ian. Little did I know, this would play into Ian's narrative of events when I went back to school the next day. The rumors spread like wildfire around the school that I was apparently in love with a cam girl. In every class, break, and group chat, the rumor was told, manipulated, and made its way back to me with an ever-developing narrative and an insult to go alongside. Loser, freak, perv, that sort of thing. But this isn't why I'm making this post. I think I'm being stalked by a cam girl. This has been going on for 6 years now. Just as Ian suggested, Rebecca did in fact keep it in the DMs. I received thousands of messages. She wouldn't leave me alone. Hey, what's up? You're cute. Just to give you some ideas of what she would send. Each message was always followed by the link. When I was 14, it didn't matter all that much. My account was private at that point, so a lot of these messages appeared as requests, which I didn't really receive a notification of. But since coming to university, I've had to use my account as a way of advertising my commitment to engineering in the hopes that being picked up by a company for replacement. I need to keep my phone on silent due to the number of times that it gets set off by her. And it's not just Instagram anymore. Snapchat, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and even emails. I don't even know how she did it, but she even managed to get a hold of my school email. My name isn't even on the email since the university creates them in accordance with other student numbers. I have no idea how she would even manage to associate 807-64-327 with me whatsoever. She started making personalized messages with things I would post or put in my bio. Rebecca, I'm all wet from kayaking today. Maybe you can help me dry off. Rebecca, I'm struggling with homework. Maybe you can teach me a lesson or two. Rebecca, I'm going to be doing squats at the gym today. Think you can spot me? I never replied to her. Why would I? She's clearly a bot, and that link is clearly going to do some sort of virus. As you can tell, I wasn't popular at school. From the messages she sent, you may have gleaned that I started to take better care of myself. I went to the gym, I did cardio, I ate better, and I even started wearing contact lenses instead of my thick black-rimmed glasses. I started to feel good about myself, something I hadn't done in a very long time. Because of the rumor, I never had a girlfriend. I never had my first kiss or a high school sweetheart. I had no one. A year ago, I received a message from Tracy Lynn. I had had a crush on her for a long time. We worked on a group project together, and when I contributed, she called me the smart one. I think about that compliment a lot. Tracy Lynn. Hey. Me. Hey, what's up? Tracy. I've been thinking about you. I double tapped to like her message. Me. Oh yeah? Tracy Lynn. Yeah. Do you want to meet up this weekend? I double tapped to like her message. Me. Sure. What did you have in mind? Tracy. Maybe you can help me pick out a new bathing suit for the summer. I blushed at that message. Finally, a girl was interested in me. I told myself to play it cool. I'd like her message and then just leave it for an hour. I didn't want to appear too keen, but I also didn't want to come across too uninterested. I hadn't opened the message yet, as I sat in my notification bar. I wanted to leave enough time to think about my response and not mess it up. I put my phone down and neatened up my already neat pile of books, fumbled around with my already solved Rubik's Cube, and then picked the phone back up again. I went to like the message when I realized something. The message had been highlighted in blue and underlined. It was a hyperlink. I didn't like the message. I stared at my phone for a couple of seconds, confused, and clicked on the profile. Tracy Lynn, 678, had no followers, no posts, and was only following one person. Me. My mind spun trying to find an answer. Was this Rebecca? Was she learning? Tracy Lynn, 678, sent message after message for days. The real Tracy seemed to be in her prime, with daily posts on her story of her and her new boyfriend. Their profile pictures were both the same. One day, Tracy Lynn, 678, stopped messaging. I think they knew I wasn't going to fall for that link trick. Rebecca continued to message me each hour, though. Last month, I received a notification that someone had added me into another group chat. This time, I can only recognize the name of one. Rebecca, 69XOXO. Hey, anyone interested? Attached to the message was a link. Braiders 566. Don't mind if I do. This is as far as the conversation went. I assume Braiders or Brad had opened the link. Maybe he just got some free content, or maybe he saw something else he really shouldn't have. Either way, he went radio silent on all platforms. Believe me, I checked. I looked at his profile from where he sent the message, and he was an avid poster. Anything and everything, no matter how uninteresting, he would post about, sometimes 3 times a day. His last post was a month ago, same day as his message in the group chat. She keeps sending me messages. It's not even a message anymore. It's just the link. It's every minute now. I block each of her accounts, but she just makes more. She wants me to open the link, but I won't. I can't. Now after seeing how Brad ended up. I've been falling asleep at my computer for the last couple of nights now. I've got a pretty big assignment, and the deadline is only getting closer. I keep having the same nightmare. In the dream, I click the link. The computer loads for a few seconds, and then turns black, before thick black cables launch from out of the screen and wrap around my wrists and ankles. Like snakes, they wrap around my limbs, tightening until my fingers turn blue. My heart racing, I gasp for air, but the cables keep coming. They enter my mouth. I choke as they tunnel down my throat, into my intestines. Lastly, they go for my eyes. 2 cables, each with a clip on the end, which project into my sockets and clamp down. I wake up when this happens, drenched in sweat, gasping for air. Call me paranoid, but I swear the computer's never the same as when I fell asleep. Whether it's the keyboards in a different spot, the mouse being moved, or a different window being open, it's always different. I couldn't handle it anymore. Even if I didn't fall asleep at my desk, I would still have the same nightmare, night after night. I messaged Braiders 566. I needed to know if he was okay. Me. Hey man, I know this is a weird message to get, but are you okay? Braiders 566. Hey, I'm going kayaking this weekend. Maybe you can show me the ropes." Attached to the message was a link. My stomach dropped, and I felt like I was going to be sick. My hands were drenched in sweat as I shut down my computer. I don't know what's happening. I can't trust anyone online anymore. Exam links sent by my university, Google documents sent by my peers in group projects, and Facebook links sent by my parents. I can't trust them. This is really starting to affect my life in a way that I could have never anticipated. I need help, and I need it now. Firstly, I'd like to thank everyone who commented on my previous post. Your encouragement and advice regarding the situation were greatly appreciated, but I think the situation has outlived these solutions. Rebecca69XOXO has plagued my life for the past 6 years. From the messages she sends, she's clearly a chatbot. At least, that's what I thought. Some of you pointed out that it may be a person, a troll of some sort. I ask why? Why me? Who would target a 14-year-old and then torment them for the next 6 years? Who would commit every waking hour trying to get him to click a link? A deranged person, that's who. As easy as it is to point fingers as a supposed culprit who's probably suffering from some sort of mental illness, I don't think this is the case. I contacted cyberpolice, and they told me that they'd investigate at some point, drowning in reports of old ladies getting their bank accounts hacked and deep fake political propaganda. I understand why I would be at the bottom of their list. Someone's entire world collapsing from a hacker versus someone getting spam messages from a chatbot. You be the judge. But to me, it was a clear knockout. I did try Virus Total, like some of you mentioned, but it doesn't seem to recognize the links sent by Rebecca as really anything. It just keeps loading. No matter how many times I refresh the page, or how many links I use, the outcome is always the same. Regardless, I thank you for the suggestion. Now for the reason I'm making this post. I met up with Ian. I think he was messaged too. I decided to go back to my parents for a while after making the first post. Something about staring at screens all day, with little to no friends and not being able to add variety to my day really started to weigh on my well-being. I needed a routine. I needed contact. I needed my parents. I didn't tell them about Rebecca. Why would I? She was a bot posing as a cam girl. A smart one at that. With how personalized her messages became, it would just worry my parents, or more likely result in me sitting down and giving me a lecture on internet safety and avoiding certain adult sites. I think they're still struggling with the idea that I'm now 20 and not exactly a kid anymore. My hometown was a welcome change from the cramped dorm room and the short trips I'd make to and from the library. I didn't really have many fond memories of that place. As I walked down the street, I played a game in my head counting the number of times someone took my bag when I was walking home, or pushed me over, or called me names as they ran away. It's funny how your life can change so much, and yet, things like this just stay with you. A constant reminder of how things used to be. If I'm honest, I'd trade my life now in a heartbeat, just to be 12 again and ignore the message Rebecca sent or leave the group chat entirely. Maybe things would be different. Maybe it would happen all the same. As I rounded the corner of the street and entered the park, a woman locked eyes with me and jogged over. You're Matthew Wilson, right? She said while trying to catch her breath. Yeah. I'm sorry, who are you? Jackie. Miss Marsh. I'm Ian's mother. I felt my chest tighten a little at his name. The rumors he made about me. The teasing. The isolation he inflicted on me. All flashed before my eyes. Before they were just distant memories that came back every now and again. Now I was hit with the full force of Ian Marsh. Okay. Listen, I know he used to make fun of you as a kid. It was a bit more than that, I blurted out, unable to catch myself. She swallowed her pride and started again. Well, he's been saying your name a lot, is all. He's always in his room and he barely comes out. But he mentions you. I don't know why, but he mentions you all the time. Do you think you can come over and see him? Was she serious? Ian Marsh. Ian Marsh, the king of the high school. A shut-in. I didn't believe it. I admittedly thought that Ian had seen me walking about and told his mom to pull a trick just to see my face when I came around with a sympathetic tone and look about me. I shook off these immature beliefs. I'm a changed person. Ian would be a changed person too. Sure, I can come round now if you like. That would be great. She placed her hand on my shoulder and relaxed her face into a solemn frown. Thank you, Matt. He spends so much time in his room all day busy with his computers. He fixes them up, you know. He's a good lad. He used to mention a girlfriend of some sort a lot, but he stopped doing that now. I think he really needs some company. Ian's house was spotless. Well, rather his parents' house was spotless. His mom really did take good care of it, and I could tell it was her just from the sight of his dad sitting on the sofa, clipping his toenails directly onto the floor. This way, Matt. She beckoned while climbing the stairs and stopping at a door. Ian, honey, you have a visitor. She didn't wait for a reply as she opened the door and ushered me in. The smell hit me at first, a concoction of different foods and drinks fermenting in this damp cesspit Ian called a bedroom. Compared to the hallway, this place was a cave. It was pitch black save for the single lit monitor in the center of the room. I couldn't stand it anymore. I covered my nose with my shirt. In what little light there was, I could make out a thick black curtain spanning the length of the wall. Ian. Feeling my way towards the monitor, the floor had a noticeably give to it, which elevated a damp smell with each step I took. There were cables everywhere. I couldn't help but think back on the nightmares I had about being wrapped up and choked to death by them. As my heart began to race, every inch I would trip over loose cords, causing me to stumble forward onto my knees. With each fall, gag, and a wave of perseverance, I made it to the monitor. Ian. Was he even here? I sat down at the desk. The chair creaked in retort as I shuffled closer to the screen. It was blank, no icons at all, just a dark blue background. I sighed as I leaned back and looked at the ceiling. Why was I even disappointed? Did I really want to see Ian? He clearly wasn't there, and there was no point wasting any more of my time. But as I got up, I froze. Dangling over the monitor was a mop of dark, greasy hair, my eyes unblinking. I forced myself to follow the trail. He looked so tired. The bags under his eyes were made darker, still by the skin sunken in around his sockets. His lips were pale and peeling in several places, never once curling into a smile. His skin had a yellow tint. These monitors were likely the only light to have seen it in years. Ian? Oh my God! Tears began to trickle down his cheeks. Even with him being a relentless tormentor throughout my youth, I would have never wished this upon my enemies. Ian, what happened? He was silent for a while. Are you real? His voice broke a little as he tried to hold back his tears. I am, Ian. It's me. I'm real. I'm real. Let my words sink in for a second. Link! What? No. I said sink. No. You said Link. You're trying to get me. You're trying to get me. I clicked the link and you're trying to get me." He broke into a sprint as he retreated into the darkness, his screams echoing throughout the room as a loud thud ceased his wailing. "Ian, are you okay? Get away! Get away!" I couldn't be bothered to deal with him right now. If Ian wanted me gone, then so be it. I laughed. I went downstairs, faced the hesitated smile of Miss Marsh, who thanked me and opened the door, and walked straight out into the fresh air. Ian was a changed man, just not in the way I expected. I wish I stayed. I_Marsh. Hey. Me. What's wrong, Ian? I_Marsh. I fixed computers same day and to an exceptional standard. Click the link to visit my page. Attached to the message was a link. I've been here before. Rebecca has clouded my judgment in ways I didn't expect. Even a message like this, which could be Ian's way of apologizing for how he acted, was signaling red alert throughout my being. I ignored the message, leaving it on red. With how Ian was, I don't think I'd be wrong in saying he'd see it as the worst insult to have ever graced his computer, though I don't think it would be the first time it happened. Things have changed so much in the space of the morning. Ian is dead. His mom accused me at first, yelling with tears in her eyes. "You killed my son! You killed him! You wrapped him up and killed him!" "What? No, I didn't. What are you talking about?" "The cables! You! I held my phone up to her, indicating the time Ian had sent me the message. If I left 5 hours before he had sent that message, then it clearly happened way after my visit. I felt sorry for her. Ian was so far gone with his computers, he failed to realize how much his own mother really cared about him. She dropped to her knees in a deep sob, bowing her head. He tripped. Oh my God. He tripped in those cables and couldn't get up. Oh my God, Matt. He was so entangled. It's okay. It's okay. You don't have to keep going, I said, placing a hand on her shoulder. Ian was dead. From what I gathered, he had tripped in his room and fell into a pile of cables. With how dark it was, he likely scrambled to get up, only to get further and further wedged and entangled as the cords held him down. And his neck. He probably had a cable stuck wrapped around his neck, each struggle and thrash only causing it to tighten. I fought back the urge to be sick. The image burned into my mind by my imagination, sending shivers down my spine. But this wasn't the worst of it. I received another message from Ian. I_Marsh. I fixed computers same day and to an exceptional standard. Click the link to visit my page. He's sent it over 100 times. My heart skips a beat every time I see the notification come up or I hear my phone buzz. It's too much of a coincidence. Rebecca, the dream, Ian. I can't do it. The cyber police won't get involved since it's just a bot, and the police would never believe my theory. I think Ian clicked the link, and I think the virus killed him. I just pray that Rebecca's tricks don't catch me out. I can't just quit the internet. The internet is my life now. It's my education, my social life, and it's everywhere. Links to report suspicious activity on trails, links to get a discount at McDonald's, links to join a gym, links. I don't know what to do. It sounds weird to say, but it feels biological. It's relentless. It's ability to learn. A mutation of some kind, but I don't know. I think I'm just losing it and grabbing at clues that aren't even really there. I'm terrified, and I need your help. Where have I been for the past 3 weeks? God, even reading that question is forcing me to relive the past week, all within the fraction of a second. I'm sorry I've had to leave you this long, but forgive me for saying I don't feel sorry for holding on to the hope that I wouldn't have to update here again. For those of you who haven't read the previous posts, I'll include the links below. Still, with how long I've been away, I suppose we all need a refresher on the events thus far, including me. When I was 14, I was messaged by a cam girl with the username Rebecca69XOXO. I was added to a group chat with 36 other people from my school, and unbeknownst to me, this would begin a 6-year-long saga of mental torture and the decline of my physical well-being. Rebecca has continued to contact me with personalized messages, all in the accompany of the link. It's now reached the frequency of 2,000 messages, 1,000 emails, and now recently, 30 missed calls a day. Rebecca is a chatbot. At least that's how her messages came across. I've been holding on to this belief that she acts biologically despite being shackled to the boundaries of all things electrical and the internet connected. Coincidence or not, the fact that Ian tripped in a pile of cables and was choked to death by the entanglement speaks volumes to me, after the memory of him yelling about pressing the link has left me perpetually in a loop of restless nights and frequent nightmares where I take Ian's place instead. Ian's funeral was, the lack of better word, desolate. His mother held herself together as best as she could, but after discovering quickly that I would be the only guest outside of the family, she broke down in a puddle of tears, wailing for her son to come back. I only hope that she won't be made a target for Ian as I am. He continues to message me every day, at least whatever is taken over his account is, in comparison to Rebecca's messages. However, Ian seems to be in his infancy, as he is yet to adapt to the art of personalized messages, and instead relies on the frequency of the same message. I_Marsh. I fixed computers same day and to an exceptional standard. Click the link to visit my page. As for the phone calls left by Rebecca, I've never answered them. The habit of not answering my phone unless I have it saved in my phone has done me wonders up until now. I have, however, listened to the voice messages left by her. All of them appear like this, and all of them are always read by a monotone robotic speech pattern, and most scam call centers and automated systems sound exactly the same. Please, message. Please, message. Message. Believe me. Please, message. All your comments on the previous post have really put me at ease, and for a while, I believed most of you who said I wasn't in danger. I take that all back now. My university organizes a skiing trip each year at the Lombardy ski resort in Italy. Seeing how worn down I've become over the past few weeks, and given how hard I've been working this year on my engineering course, my friends gifted me the money to attend this trip as a job well done. When they told me, with the money in hand, I couldn't help but cry tears of joy, hugging them both and running up the stairs, darting around my room, gathering things to pack. I decided that I would use this trip as an excuse to get away from my phone for a while, hence the reason I've been away for so long. I left my phone in my suitcase the entire trip, except for now. With no confirmation of a red alert, Rebecca has found another way to reach me. I never realized how hard skiing was, and I never realized until now how utterly shocking my level of balance was, since I couldn't last all of 3 seconds on the slope without barreling into a tree or one of my classmates. However, after 2 weeks of non-stop skiing days, I'm proud to say I'm off of the beginner slopes and onto intermediate alongside 2 classmates who I've quickly made friends with given our shared relatability of having a face full of snow every few minutes. James was a first-year study of the history of art, and Liam was a third-year study of sports science. Put us on campus and we'd likely and probably already did walk past each other without a second glance or fleeting thought. I didn't tell them about Rebecca. This trip was supposed to be a palate cleanser, if you will, a detox of all the things electronic, despite having to grin and bear the countless pictures James took of the 3 of us on his Instagram. Yet that's not to say I didn't learn anything. One of the evenings, Liam managed to steal a couple of beers from the hotel lobby while the bartender was busy flirting with one of our lectors. He told us a whole story about how he was leaning across the entire length of the table, holding her hand and turning the ring from side to side, making it glisten in the light, all while she glared at him, disgusted, making numerous attempts to withdraw her hand. We all laughed, knowing that Miss Green would likely use the situation to flex how she still looks youthful despite pushing 50. Come on, Matt, tell us who you like. Yeah. We were all severely blitzed by this point, with Liam making occasional resupply runs back to the bar, all while expanding the never-ending Rolodex of the bartender's attempts to flirt with the guests. Come on, guys, seriously. Yeah, first it was me, then it was James. Now it's you. Fine. Tracy Lynn. Oh, dude. Don't let Brad hear you say that. That guy's gone completely psycho over that girl. What? Seriously? Yeah. Didn't you hear? Hear what? James said, perking up. You didn't hear from me, but I heard that Brad stood her up at a restaurant and then ghosted her for like a week. They said she hadn't messaged him for a while since. I don't know, but it was something about she didn't think that she should be the one to message first because he was the one with the wrong and blah blah blah. Anyway, she did eventually message him, and now he won't stop messaging her about his OnlyFans and trying to get her to visit his page. My blood ran cold. And did she? No. She started dating a new guy though. I can't remember the name. Says she's being messaged by Brad's girlfriend though. Some girl called Rachel, Rose, Rebecca? Yeah, that's the one. Says she's been ignoring them both, but they're both just as crazy as each other, stalking her page and whatnot. Man, that's sick, James said, reeling in his seat and laughing. His rosy cheeks a beet red under the lamplight. I tried shaking away my thoughts that she was dealing with the same Rebecca as me. Sweat dribbled down my temple. Wiping it away and sitting back, I nervously laughed alongside with James, all while my mind was waging war, drawing lines and filing away new ones for new evidence for my theories. I didn't sleep well that night, something that would rather lead to my downfall on the slopes. In a lapse of judgment, my head throbbing from last night, I raised my hand when the lector asked who wanted to go down the expert slopes that morning. My thoughts jumbled around in a cloud I barely registered. With a nervous eye, James and Liam threw my way as I clumsily picked up my skis and stumbled over to the ski lift, not questioning why they didn't join me. Only when I reached the top, my classmates and lector already speeding down the slope, did the fog lift and my vision clear as I stood eyes wide staring at the frozen mouth before me. My stomach sank, and a sudden sensation of needing to go to the bathroom caused my legs to buckle as I hopelessly watched the out-of-reach ski lift, which remained empty for miles down the line. Help! Help me! There was no way I was going down that slope. The rock formation, sharp and jagged, erupted from within the snow, like the unlined teeth of an already bone-chilling mouth, littered the cavities and pitfalls at odd intervals, my eyes darting along the tree line that lined either side of the slope. I made out a red glow of the emergency lights, highlighted to us by our instructors. They told us that if we were to ever lose our way off of the slope, then we should look for those red lights and follow their trails, for the cable should lead us back to the sanctuary within the resort. Stumbling through the snow, the biting frost stinging my cheeks and my lips, which were beginning to grow numb, I trudged my way beneath the canopy, providing little shelter. It failed to shield the relentless force of the winds as it sent the top of the layer of snow spiraling up into the air and cascading over the spines of the trees and branches. I endeavored to keep my eyes open, leaving my snow goggles behind in my drunken stupidity as the wind picked up and the snow continued to spiral into the whirlwind of blinding despair. Each step I took felt as if I was escaping quicksand, the settling snow burying my feet and beginning to reach my calf. My whole body shivered against the cold, creating a disjointed jigsaw of unmatching pieces of piercing cold and the beginning of what I believed to be hypothermia, as parts of my body broke out in such intense heat. I felt as if I was melting. I understand now why my classmates left so quickly, why no one else braced for the summit. I was in the jaws of the slope. I was in a blizzard. It was likely unforeseen, but I don't know how much I missed and how dazed I was earlier. I had now passed lamppost number 12, the red glow of number 13 barely visible from the frost, dousing my eyelids and my obscure vision. Help! I felt my body begging to give up. Help me, please! A woman's voice broke through the tempest. The following words were dragged away down the slope by the roaring wind. My heart ignited with hope that my feet bulldozing through the snow towards the lamp, sending piles of snow flying through the air. I'm here! I'm here! Please! I can't hear you! Please! The remnants of my vision drove my feet towards the light. I squinted to see as I pushed through the remaining branches that obscured the base of the lamppost 13. I'm here! Oh, thank God! Rooted at the base was a girl in a gray tank top. Everything below her waist was buried in snow. Her short brown hair curled at her shoulders, only highlighting further than unnatural orange tint on her skin, almost as if someone had taken a picture of her and increased the exposure. She remained frozen in place, without any protective gear or a sliver of discomfort against the elements. She didn't shiver. She didn't blink. She didn't frown. Her large brown eyes remained fixated on me, as if swallowing me whole. Her uniform, pearl white teeth, a constant reminder that she was happy to see me. I retreated, falling over in the snow, my heart pounding out of my chest, my eyes fighting to widen against the wind. My body could barely react. Every sense, muscle, and fiber was frozen in time, numbed by the cold. All I could do was cry, but even that added another element of frost to my already battered face. Please, message. Press message. Press message, she was trying to say. A press message. My stomach was close to falling out of me as I scrambled to stand. Please, please, please. Her robotic voice, like a rattlesnake shaking its tail in my ear, ignited every reaction of my fight or flight, but my body couldn't do anything, as all passageways remained blocked off. I couldn't handle it anymore. What the hell do you want? Why can't you just leave me alone? I balled my fist with what effort I could muster, taking a single step towards her. Please. She remained, her hands wide, ready to embrace me. Jesus Christ, what the hell are you? Unhinging her jaw, her teeth separated, for the first time revealing a dark, bottomless abyss. My hand shot up to my ears, the noise piercing my eardrums, reverberating throughout my body. Her eyebrows narrowed along with her unchanged eyes in fury as she screamed. It was supersonic, static even. It cut through the ensued chaos, the red light intensifying until it burst, showering glass down from above and cutting the backs of my hands and my cheeks. I screamed as loud as I could. I didn't know what else to do but try to scare her to stop. We were at a stalemate, screaming atop the slope, the blizzard all around us, until the hand was placed on my shoulder. She didn't stop screaming. The red high-vis jacket and rescue officer brushed past me in a panic, carrying a blanket and darting over to Rebecca, placing his hand over her shoulder. I didn't have any time to react. He remained motionless, obscuring Rebecca from the view, as black, thick cords wrapped around his arms and his legs, his scream revealing her own. The cords wrapped around his limbs like snakes, coiling and tightening in thick knots, causing a sudden violent display as his wet bone popped, tearing through his jacket and in a spray of blood across the pure white snow. He asked me to help. I couldn't hear him over Rebecca, but I knew he was screaming for help, his head thrashing around violently amidst the tangled cables. Finally, 2 cords raised high above the lamppost plunged down and sharply into his head and out of the back, wrapping around it entirely, and in one quick motion, dragging him beneath the snow, along with Rebecca. The rest of the team found me shortly afterward and carried me down the slope on the back of the snowmobiles. I didn't know what to tell them. They asked if I had seen their colleague, and I just told them that I saw what looked like to be a red figure fall into the snow. I didn't tell them about Rebecca or the cables. I didn't tell them how their colleague, their friend, died. They would never believe me. It was better for them to believe that their friend died in the blizzard than to be made a mockery by me telling them about what really happened. They would have thought that I was knitting them a lie, a thank you present for saving me. Truth is, I don't think that I could face telling them the true story, even if I tried. So this is it. A tribute to the officer. The man who showed willingness and courage to save others, even at the cost of his own life. I don't know what to do. I've asked you for help, and you've given me the world and more. But I think your solutions have run dry. All I can do now is report back to you. Maybe then I can get the word out. Maybe then I can save some of you. Since writing this, I've noticed I've been tagged in all of James's posts on Instagram, alongside countless messages by Rebecca. I think she used James to track me. Hey everyone, I know it also has been a while since you guys have heard part 1 and part 2, but now this way you guys can listen to the story from start to end. I want to say a massive thank you to the the author of this. They have offered for me to use a couple more of their stories for more series. So even though this is the end of this series, I've got another one to replace it. But if you liked what you heard, make sure to like, comment, and if you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe. I've got a lot of content, a lot more coming eventually. As you guys have seen my current upload schedule, it's pretty bad. You gotta love somebody closing the door. But yeah, you guys know how my schedule's been, but hopefully I can finally get back to it. I apologize, and yeah. But with that being said, make sure to check out the links in the description as well, like Twitter, Instagram, everything like that, including my Gmail if you would like to submit a story. But yeah, with that being said, stay safe, stay scary, and I'll see you in the next one.